All right, so we're gonna do some columns and arches now. Um, this is one from last semester, just to give you an idea of how many of the columns come all the way up versus stay in the basement. I'm just gonna hide the roof category. You can see any of the ones that have these arches inside come all the way up. Importantly, here where there's an open walkway, they do not come up. So just keep that in mind um, when we're doing these. I'm going to start by having them all do the full length because the majority of them do, and then it's easier just to go back and fix the handful of them that don't come all the way up. So from this level, unfortunately, because we imported it on something that's now the walkway, we just have to keep that in mind when we're making our columns. We're basically going to start over here and we're going to center them. We're going to go to architecture, column. We're going to use this 24-inch rectangular column. And we're going to say the height goes to roof. And it's not letting us start the base now, but that's fine. I'm just going to bring it in here. I'm going to click on it. And I'm going to make the base level lower level. So now I've got one. But if I come into my 3D view, it goes, that's weird. Let me see what's happening. Okay. Yeah, we're fine. We're right on that. So it goes from that level up. And if I come to an elevation, actually, let me go to south. You can see it goes from the bottom level all the way up. So now that we have that one, we can start copying it and it will continue to be in the correct location. Now we have one out here as well. So I'm just going to copy it. And the important part is that you keep that blue dash. As long as you stay on the grid lines, it's going to stay centered. All right, so now we're going to go back to 3D. I should have a whole slew of them along that edge. So I can highlight them all because we're going to start copying again. I'm just going to highlight the columns. Did I get them all? Yes. I'm going to go back to my level I called outside walkway. I'm going to copy them down to grid 2 because that's another edge. So any place the roof starts and ends, we have to undo constrain. Any place the roof starts and ends, we're going to have these. Now we'll have to delete a couple of them from this because again, it's an outdoor area where they don't exist, but that's fine. I'd rather copy once. And I don't know why constrain keeps popping up, but it's fine. Just do one more like this. Making sure. Okay. So now I have all my outside ones taken care of and plus a few extras. So these don't exist in the real model because this is just a walkway outside. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these now. These do exist because it's an open walkway. ignore this one. This is incorrect. Or if it is correct, it stays below. All right, so I've got all those. Now we just need to start copying them to these interior ones. So I know I want this one and this one. It's gonna go to all of these. These ones don't match perfectly, so I'll do those separately. And click copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now these ones I know don't go all the way up. At least I don't think they do. I'll double check the roof plan. Ah, and I gave some extra here that don't exist. Again, double check. Just because there's an intersection doesn't mean they always belong there. But these red ones, I'm pretty sure go all the way up. I'm gonna highlight these, click copy. And make sure I get the blue dash line. Okay, got those. Now we've got all of these. So I'm just gonna pick this one to start, and I'm gonna copy here, and then I'll move them in this direction. We don't have a grid, so we're gonna eyeball those. Or it's halfway in between. So if we draw a model line, it goes from this grid to this grid. Now I can come halfway down, and I know that's going to be the middle. Get rid of that model line, that model line. All right, so I'm going to highlight this one, copy it. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. I'm going to undo that because that would cause major problems. I'm just going to go click one at a time, holding control. And now I'm going to click copy again. And I'm just going to come from this grid line to this model line. All that's left are these in the interior. There's 3. So I'm going to click here, here, and here. Okay, that's all of my columns. I can clean them up later as far as heights, but this is what we're going to start with. So now I'm going to come into my north elevation where I have my drawing. Let's make sure. So from the north, yeah, I'm going to start on A1 here. So I'm going to come into architecture, component, model in place. And I'm still going to call it a column, even though it's an arch. It's going to be an extrusion. I'm just going to come from the inside edge to the inside edge, and then just eyeball based on this image where it would go. Okay, now I need to switch to the circle tool. I need to just come down here until I see this. This tells me this is the center of that arc I just drew. So I'm going to click here once, and now I'm going to snap it on the outside edge of this column. Now I close these up. And we're going to use the trim tool to complete this. But it won't work unless you do both sides. So I'm going to start with this horizontal and come over here. Horizontal, come over here. And now the rest of our circle's gone. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to go ahead and set my material now. It's going to be our usual concrete. Cast in place. I'm going to make sure I disassociate it from the work plane, because if I don't, once I get to my other views, it's not going to be happy. So I'm going to go to my 3D top view. There we go. Finish the model. So these columns should also be concrete. So I'm going to come in here to edit type and change the material. Concrete cast in place. All right, now that I've got this one, it's just a matter of copying like the others. So anytime I want to copy, I can just come to the top view, say copy, and now I'm going from this grid to this grid, making sure I'm staying horizontal the entire time. And now I can make my life easy, and I can pick multiple. And now I can copy it again, but from this to here. So that's it for this. You're going to keep going until you got all your arches where they belong. Refer to Google Maps, refer to the PowerPoint, and make sure not all these are going to need them. You're only going to do the other ones where there's an opening in the roof. So go back and forth and check those, and that's it. Next week we will start on the floors and the walls, and then we'll do the roofs.